2024, the outlook, and I guess I was going to go back to what the wide receivers, what can they do, what will they do? Because when I look at it, so as we are in this final segment, Corey, the wide receivers are better because Julian Fleming fixes the needs in the running game. I think the running game will be better and be able to take some pressure off of that passing game. So Julian Fleming was a must because he's one of the best blocking wide receivers probably in college football right now. And you're going to get a hard worker that's not going to be selfish and saying, well, I'm not getting enough. I'm not getting 10 catches a game for 100 yards. So therefore, I'm not going to go pancake somebody out in front of the sideline. That's not it at all. You're getting a selfless player here. But I can't help but think with an offensive line that has been able to stack class after class after class with Phil Troutwine, you still have two future NFL draft picks where they're selected. That's fine. Katron Allen and Nicholas Singleton are future NFL players, and they're going to be good ones. Where they're selected, different conversation. So you have that. You have a quarterback that, Corey, you're telling me shouldn't exactly be trusted at this point. So with all that being said, I can't, and Andy Kotelnicki is a run-first guy. He's not a quarterback whisperer. He's not a wide receivers coach. And I never got to say this, Corey. It's interesting to me that James Franklin was a quarterback in college, was a former quarterbacks coach, coached with the Green Bay Packers as a wide receivers coach. And the thing that is letting Penn State down right now is not its defense, is not its ground game, it's passing attack, it's aerial attack. When at James Franklin's foundation, he is a wide receivers passing attack kind of guy. At least he's supposed to be. And then you bring in Andy Kotelnicki, and he's satisfying all these other needs that go back to ground and pound, ball control, because that's who he is. Do I think, yes, the running game will help the passing attack? Yes, you run the ball to set up the pass. Absolutely, that's what you do. But Julian Fleming is not a bona fide playmaker. Is he a better wide receiver? Do secondaries need to respect him? Yes, but I think we're going to get a better version of what we saw in 2023. How much better is the question? What do you think?
Yeah, it'll be interesting just to see what they do offensively. They ran the triple option at Kansas, and I keep joking about this. Drew Aller ain't running no triple option. I do not think that Bo Prabula is the answer over
no,
Drew Aller.
You play Drew over Bo, yeah.
Correct. But it's not completely unrealistic to think that in the Kansas version of the offense that Andy Kotelnicki ran, Bo Prabula might be the more productive guy. It's not unreasonable to think if Bo Prabula and Drew Aller were at Kansas this year. Again, they ran the triple option. This is like Oklahoma, 1986. All right, so look, they're going to change it to fit Drew's skill set more. But ultimately, I'll throw this out there. I worry about Ethan Grunkmeyer. If Andy Kotelnicki is at Penn State for a long time, and his base formations is more of this crazy running, Trace McSorley kind of stuff. Yeah. Is Drew Aller ever going to be successful in that? Is Ethan Grunkmeyer going to be successful in that? Or do you need to go start – again, I'm not necessarily saying play Bo Prabula. Right. You need to get a better version of Bo Prabula. Where are the Trace McSorleys of the world? Those are the guys that are going to be more successful in this offense as opposed to the prototypical pocket passer.
And I think that's why Andy Kotelnicki was brought in to adapt the system where everybody can benefit, Singleton, Allen. But at some point, somebody loses out, somebody misses out, and you can only do with what you have. You're only as strong as your weakest link. So I can use all these different euphemisms that you might hear James Franklin say on a week-to-week basis in the press conference, but that's just it. Penn State needs to get somebody from the transfer portal like a Dorian Singer if you want them to go 3 wide receivers. With Keandre Lambert-Smith, you know what you have with KLS. There isn't, he still has this untapped potential. You've seen him now over the course of 4 seasons as someone who came up through the program. You know what he is. You've kind of maxed out what he can do. Can he be better at the things he's good at? Yes, but I don't think he's going to overall become this entirely different wide receiver that puts the passing attack over the top and one of the best in the conference. You don't know what you have with Trey Wallace. Trey Wallace still has potential, which is why Julian Fleming and Trey Wallace are your automatic starters, and Keandre Lambert-Smith is even up for debate if he'll be even with the program. And then there's the spring practice transfer portal window. Does Penn State try to get another wide receiver there? So I agree with you that the defense is not going to be number one in yards per play, sacks per game, yards allowed, all these metrics that Manny Diaz shattered. And part of that has to do with coaching. Part of that has to do with personnel. You're losing 3 starting defensive backs. You're losing Curtis Jacobs. You're losing Chop Robinson, Adisa Isaac. Does Tony Rojas immediately become as good as Curtis Jacobs? Probably not. But you hope that Abdul Carter, Kobe King get better. But I think the problem is with Washington, Oregon, UCLA, USC, and I know you're not playing Oregon, but those 3 other schools come into the Big Ten. You still have the likes of Ohio State and Michigan, and your secondary is going to be a liability unless you make moves in the transfer portal. So, yes, the offense is going to have to pick up with where the defense lets you down, because that wasn't the case. The offense let down the defense almost every time this past season.
And as we look ahead, it is playoff or bust. For the Penn State program now going forward, it is playoff or bust. They would play off 5 times in 7 years if it were a 12-team field. The expectation is they're going to make it next year.
Yep.
I'm actually going to pick them to not get in next year. I talked about this on my radio show today. I haven't written it yet, but my for next year is 9-3. I'm not just going to assume when you take a massive hit like they're going to on defense. And Manny Diaz, let's be realistic. Manny Diaz is the biggest loss in the program, period. You're going to take a hit there. You're going to lose a lot of offensive linemen. I'm going 9-3 and no playoff. And I kind of assumed all along they would make the playoff next year. USC is going to have a new quarterback. You don't know what you're going to get there. I don't think USC was really any good this year. Washington's going to have a new quarterback. Ohio State's going to have a new quarterback. These teams that you're playing, they're going to have some question marks themselves. But I will just say this, that with all the question marks we've got with Penn State, I'm not just going to sit here and assume they're going to go 10-2.